Hi everyone, welcome to Marianne's Mystic Mansions. I'm Marianne. Welcome to your April readings. I'm getting out about a reading a day, and in each reading I mentioned that I did have a surgery that went incredibly well, but I'm still taking it slow and easy for mainly just the whole need to have the spirit and the energy come through in a calm and in genuine manner, because I don't want to feel pressured to put out product, as it were. I don't feel like, I think it's completely the opposite of what my intention is here for you. So you know what I'm saying. So it just feels good to be back, bottom line, straight up, exclamation point. And so for those that are new, welcome to my channel. I'm Marianne, and I have been a tarot intuitive psychic reader for well over 30 years. And I do like to incorporate some of the most important energies that are coming through every month from astrology as an aspiring astrologist. I'm not an astrologist, I don't consider that, but I learn and I study every single day in some form to learn more about it and how the planets do genuinely affect us. And then I do like to pick a love connection, person, energy, or another sign that spirit designates right in front of you for the featured sign, which is, what I like to call every one of the zodiac signs I happen to read for that day. Today's beautiful featured sign is in the beautiful element of, Earth. I'll get it out. And it is Virgo. And I just I did a trial massage because I'm planning on going back to work next week. It's been about 7 weeks and I'm so ready. And so I did a trial massage today and it went really well, and I did it with one of my most favorite people in the world, who's a Virgo and a chiropractor, and just a wonderful human being that always wants to help and be of service, and she has all sorts of answers, and she's very organized and detail oriented and all the things that you know and have known and have read about Virgos. She's that and then some, and it's a beautiful relationship. And I think it's really special for Virgos this month because we have the second new moon. So we had the first new moon, a very powerful, beautiful new moon on April 1st in Aries. We're still in Aries season. It's fiery, it's ambitious, it's leadership quality. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac and brings in the beautiful season of spring. And now we have lighter days, longer days that are lighter, I should say, every day a little longer. One of my favorite things to make me feel like I can accomplish more and do more. And, whether it's going out in the garden or going to the store last minute, it's beautiful. I know I love it. I have an Aries moon. If you have any Aries placements in your chart, which you can look up very quickly, I like to use Cafe Astrology or ASCENDANT.com. There's so much to you. You're so much more than your sun sign, though. All of them are essentially important. I like to say you should read your sun or listen to your sun, moon, and ascendant. Definitely as far as the readings goes, because sometimes you resonate more with one than you do another. And I don't know which one it'll be. And these are all general, but we're all going to have the same feelings coming through. And I'm feeling like a lot of people I'm talking to are now back at what they were doing or back in the office or starting that new, idea or creative endeavor. And then the fact that we have a full moon in Libra, the only full moon, we get one full moon, one new moon every year, on the 16th, day before Easter, for those who celebrate. It's going to be very, very much about the balancing and the putting a spotlight on specific areas, and I would say predominantly in relationships, because Aries is the polar opposite to Libra. There's a lot of activity going on the entire month with Aries season. And even more so when Jupiter goes into Aries on May 10th. That will be discussed more later. But we're already starting to feel that. We've got the season of our eclipses starting at the end of the month with the new one, the partial solar eclipse in Taurus, which is what I was trying to say, Virgo, is going to be extremely complementary to you. And I think it's going to be great for a lot of people. We'll have our ups and downs in the month. Who doesn't? We're at the end of the month, we'll be feeling the retrograde, shadowy aspect of Mercury that goes into retrograde the same day as the day that Jupiter goes into Aries. There's a lot a lot happening, but it's very, very much a enthusiastic, let's start these new beginnings. Let's rid ourselves of things we're not needing or wanting. Let's move away, declutter, release. And then I have to say, of course, and lastly, about the beautiful conjunction happening with Neptune and Jupiter in Pisces. Once in a lifetime deal. Yes, Jupiter and Neptune meet like they are every 12, 13 years in some sign, but it's Jupiter and Pisces Jupiter and Neptune happen to be the ruling planet of Pisces, and it's going to be in Pisces. So we are talking phenomenal energies of creativity, of love, of heart center, of emotions, of dreamy fantasizing, almost to a point you have to be very careful. Neptune is very much known for the elusive, foggy, not really clear as to what really is happening versus our imagination and our dream state and our intuition and everything mixed together, the artistry, the sensuality. There's no boundaries with Pisces. It's all, the mutable aspect. It can bring some incredible, incredible feelings and revelations in your life, no matter what sign you are. But certainly if you have a water sign element or predominant in your chart, specifically really more towards the latter part, the last decan, which is anywhere from, let's say, 18 degrees to the end of 30 degrees, but really right at the 23, 24 mark, that's going to be felt extremely by those with that kind of placement. And I'm an optimist. I think it's going to be a phenomenal experience, and I don't know in what way, because it's a general reading, but it's going to be one of a lifetime that you'll never forget. And I dare say miracles do occur, and certainly have in my life. The recovery of my surgery, this is Pisces, it's an energy of healing and just, things that you wouldn't imagine could happen in our minds, on this third dimensional earth plane. But there's so much that goes on, things that we never see, and that's exactly what's happening. So I'm wishing everybody an incredible month. Whenever you watch these is perfectly fine. And so Virgo, I'm going to first pick Spirit's going to help me pick your specific love connection. Remember, love being of all different forms. It doesn't have to be romantic. It certainly could be, and probably predominantly will be in some form for a lot of people this month. Those that are looking, those that are in a relationship, and those that aren't, just great friendship relationships, work partnerships are going to start to gel and come together, and people may be coming from your past to reconsider the situation and maybe being the best answer that you've ever could imagine once again. So for you, beautiful Virgos, you Mercury ruled Virgos who have this incredible mind, and your intelligence is extremely notable, and you like to keep things going. Now it's right on the cusp of Aries and Pisces, which is just perfect, because that's the main energies we're feeling until the end of the month. Let's try it again though. So for you, Spirit is wanting you to know specifically about Aquarius. Well, that's another huge energy. I'm not just saying this. Now, towards the end of the month, we have a few kind of really, it's not even, I think it's more mid-month. In addition to everything I said, we've got I'm not sure if it's conjunction, so don't quote me, but there is an aspect with Aquarius, which happens to still be in the sign of Mercury and Mars, and that's power and that's determination. They are a fixed sign. They're about breaking barriers and innovation, and not, having to stay with the status quo, boundless in its own right, ruled by Uranus. So that's going to be affecting us in some ways, for better or worse, when Aquarius is in conjunction with Pluto, I believe, at one point in the month, as well as Uranus. I think right at that new solar eclipse. And eclipses are incredibly powerful. They can last for months, whatever that happens, and how quickly they can happen. And, things starting or ending in a snap. Most of them things we planned and coming to fruition, which is beautiful. Some things, of course, come out of nowhere. with the Uranus energy. It's a freedom sense. It's a sense of freedom. It's a sense of transformation. And, you know, that's very conducive for Aries and their drive for independence and freedom and you know, setting an example. And they've got that Mars warrior kind of, we're making this happen, man. Nothing's stopping us. And it's wonderful. I get excited talking about it. So Aquarius is going to be in the picture in some way. And they may be someone you know very clearly already. Or it could be somebody coming in, and it could just be that energy. Maybe you also have air or Aries, or excuse me, Aquarius in your chart, Virgo. So let me just break it down to let you know that what I do now is I'm going to be doing a 4-card spread, which is for each week of the month of April. And hopefully these will be done by the first, you know, half of the month for sure, because I'm halfway done. And, you know, the energies will be pretty much the same until this full moon I mentioned, when that's going to really, you know, culminate a lot of different things that need to have answers that have already been started now in this beautiful open time to do so before the retrograde starts to affect us or anything. This is straightforward, you know, everything's working in our favor. We got the wind behind our sails, and it's a beautiful time. So, you know, make sure you're doing the detail as, you know, you do so very well, Virgo. And, you know, finishing up loose ends and that sort of thing is going to make it really wonderful, so that when the retrograde comes in, it's more of an internalizing. You can kind of sit back and then things come to you, is basically the idea. And then there's other particulars. You can always look that up. And how the effects of Mercury retrograde affect us. And you know, there's 3+ every year. There's at least 3 retrogrades every year, something we deal with, which is almost half of the year. So for you, your overall energy, oh man, there's the Aquarius influence right off the bat, the star. And that's what represents the sign of Aquarius. So you may be very much aware of, like I said, the energy of this rebellious and, you know, generous, loving. That was my microphone, forgive me. Fell out of my pocket, my beautiful new microphone I got. But it's also just absolutely wishing upon that star and never giving up on your dreams, you know, and that determination and fixed aspect of, like I mentioned, not only Aquarius, but then this, you know, fixed, though Venus ruled new solar eclipse in Taurus. There's the second eclipse, which they always run in pairs in May, I believe it's the 16th, is going to be in Scorpio, another fixed, talk about that later. This is what you're coming into. You have absolute belief and faith in anything, any project, any relation, any person, any dream. You are dead set on making that happen. And I'm so grateful to hear that, because that's how it happens. You may have things interfere to slow you down. You know, who doesn't? But you will accomplish what you put your mind to. As above, so below. Information is the whole key to the air element of beautiful Aquarius, wanting to share that, wanting to, you know, better themselves and their intellect and their knowledge, and so that they could share that with others en masse. This is the thing about Aquarius. It's not individual. It's helping the world. You know, that beautiful nurturing, loving, caring aspect that's coming through with Pisces as well, the whole month and onward, with Jupiter in the sign of Pisces. So I don't know, it's just overall just amazing things can occur that you will always remember for the rest of your life. And you're creating it because you're bringing that in, and that's what you're wanting, and you're writing it down, and those new moons give you a great powerful energy to accomplish and to manifest. What a gorgeous, you know, first thing, and so perfect and synchronistic with the message of spirit and your love connection. So then you have your second week, and this is going to be the 7 of Swords. Now, for me personally, because I do readings every day, and for myself, or I'll watch my beautiful readers that I love and admire, and it's the 7 of Swords. And this is also an air indication. This is the, you know, Aquarius, Gemini, or Libras. I have mixed emotions about this card, because first and foremost, it's about perhaps deception, or somebody taking something from you, or not being completely honest with you, or if it's not someone, it's yourself. And the more I listen and the more I hear and the more I study and the more I sit and meditate on this, I mean, it makes really good sense. It certainly does in my life. And one person explained it really well that I heard, and I'll reiterate it in my own words. But, you know, you've had these conversations, you've had these misunderstandings, or you believed something was one way, but in fact, it clearly was not. So you were being told things that weren't necessarily accurate. And then you perhaps had said, okay, it doesn't feel right, doesn't really make sense to me, but I'll go with it. And then you did, and you continued to, and then you realized this isn't going to happen anymore. Who am I kidding? I'm kidding myself. It doesn't matter about anybody else. It always comes back to us, right? We're the ones really completely and totally responsible for how we react, who we believe, why we believe. Did we look into it enough? Did we do our due diligence? You know, we're accountable is what I'm trying to say, I hope. Because in the end, it just makes things easier when you say, okay, I messed up. I didn't ask the right questions. I didn't fully investigate, or whatever the case may be. And so it's on me, but I've learned. I've absolutely learned something. And I've gone through that myself. I'm actually moving locations as well for my business at the beginning of May. So it's so perfect with the energies that I've been speaking to you about. I'm living and experiencing those too. And it had to do with some legalities as to whether or not I could be where I've been the last 7 months, you know, as far as the licensing goes. And it turns out I wasn't able to be there, but I was told I could. So it's okay. I learned I'm moving to a place I know is perfectly okay ahead of time. And it's really good. It's a blessing. And I loved where I've been, and I have no hard feelings. Everything is cool. I just have to make sure that I reiterate, this isn't always about somebody else trying to take something from you. It could be. Be careful. You know, always protect your personal items and things, of course, but don't be over fearful about that, or, you know, worried about, you know, that type of thing. Just, you know, I always like to just surround myself with a white light of, you know, complete love and support and protection. And it does a lot. It really, truly does. All the time in my life, I can bring up stories that it's been so very effective. But just make sure that you're being honest and true with yourself, okay? In moving forward with your dreams, especially, because you don't want to get caught up in any snags because you didn't do something that you remember before you had not done. Make sure that that's the first thing you get through. It feels so empowering to do that. Third week. And I would say the second week is going to be the beautiful guidance and love and everything with that conjunction. So whatever is you need to work through, or whatever you've questioned, or whatever, it's going to be smoothed out, and just this beautiful, loving energy is going to say, bam, you learned, it's done, you get a fresh start. Third week will be the ace of wow, you're getting a lot of air. You must have air. You must be around a lot of air, or you're a Mercury ruled sign, so you think a lot like an air sign does. You're constantly working and thinking and, you know, solving and helping and such. So that makes sense, but it's the Ace of Swords. So it's a beginning. It's a new understanding, a new conversation, a new person, a new, you know, trustworthy, straightforward, you know, cutting out the garbage and the riffraff or the untruths, and feeling extremely confident and good about it. And there's that dream coming through because you've let go of the things that you know are not in your best good. And that's a beautiful indication of a dream coming true. It's nice to have that dream, but you want to be able to communicate and have a great understanding, whether it's through a relationship of love or friendship or partnership at work. Communication is key, right? Proper contracts, looking them over very carefully, having someone else look over of authority. Making sure you don't get caught up in anything, okay? You're being given these guidance and this information for a reason. You can do with it what you choose. It's always free will, but I think it's absolutely beautiful to assure that your dream comes true without a hitch. And doing the planning like you do so very well, like I said. You have beautiful things coming your way, Virgo. And I know that it's probably eased up a lot. I'm not saying everything's been perfect, but from what I understand, for a lot of us, this is the time, and we all deserve it, right? We've been through a lot. And the last week is this beautiful, like I said, solar eclipse again, and you have the world. You've come through so much. You have made it a complete cycle. It's a vortex to step into. It's whatever you want it to be. You have the world in your hands. You could travel. You could go and plan for a distant, holiday that a lot of people have thought about and wanted in the last couple of years, but couldn't happen. Definitely indicates travel, moving of some kind. Even if it's not physical, they say it's about the mind, imagining and dreaming of whatever the case may be. This is the last card in the tarot, so it's the finalizing and the starting over, and that's exactly where we're at. So this is a beautiful synchronistic reading for you of what you may be feeling, but also being in touch and in alignment with Source, your co-creator, and just going for it. Okay, everything is working in your favor, and anything that isn't is definitely something that can be mended and handled. So absolutely beautiful. I love the readings that I've been doing. I am going to read your oracle message now. I love the divination of oracles. I love this particular deck. I bring it out quite a bit. It is the Psychic Tarot of the Heart by John Holland, and it really touches my soul. It covers all different aspects. It has the chakras, cards for the chakra, every element, air, earth, fire, and water, and then also the major arcana, like a tarot deck would have. Take a deep breath and see what your specific message is for April and then onward, because a lot of the energies, like I said, whenever you watch this, as slow as I may be at bringing these out, you'll be lucky because you'll know that I watched on the right day. I needed that information, and it'll follow through past this month, I promise. And you have win or lose. Woo! And the ones that I've been pulling have been kind of, like we have these incredible, inspiring and uplifting, and then it's like, remember though, remember this is reality. This is truly life as well. I mean, here we have this Neptune, Jupiter, like anything is possible, and just like there's no holes barred and there's unlimited possibilities. And then you come into the reality of, and in this physical plane though, there are going to be things that are going to be blocking us or stopping us or wanting us to, slow it down. And you can say, okay, now what do I have to do to reach the solution? Because there's always a solution. That's the reality of it. Win or lose, number 5. 5 is challenge in life. 5, last year was a 5-year. Go figure, we're in a 6th year, which I automatically felt. 6 representing Venus, love, sensuality, accomplish, luxury, beauty, fulfillment, romance, and everything. It's a gorgeous, I felt the change. Even though we had that Venus retrograde, I felt immensely. It wasn't bad. I just felt the need to stop and slow down, which I think a lot of people did, including in my business. It's always an interesting perspective, on how you can look at life. So the blue, I think they're calling that, I believe it's the mental, indigo. Yeah. Is that it? Yeah. It's the mind again. So you have a predominance of air, but you do have 2 majors that are the bookends, which is amazing and beautiful. The star and the world, I mean, together, this is a beautiful, beautiful indication of wonderful possibilities transpiring in your life, Virgos. Doesn't matter what gender, doesn't matter what age. It's a great time. So so let's go to the actual number, which is 5. And one moment, please. Nope, you know what? It's not that one. Let's go over here and see what else we're doing then. Forgive me. So the green is that. And what is this? The red is Pentacles. Indigo. This is very interesting. I'm sorry. It's not a violet border. I'm really kind of perplexed. The black is the over the major arcana. Okay, I apologize. It's blue. It represents the the throat chakra, being able to talk. Let me double check that for you. There's something still, and I'm so sorry for taking your time, but there's just something that's not quite right here. And it's kind of interesting to me right now because I want to do the proper reading, but this is definitely showing me it's blue. And yet, if nothing else, I am going to read you just because it's telling me to do so. I'll be reading you the blue. As far as the, yeah, because indigo, this isn't really indigo. Double check here. Yep, it's indigo. I apologize for all that time. Thank you so much. Hopefully you can fast forward that. It is the swords, it's the mind. It's what I was saying before. Okay, win or lose. Keywords: disagreement, ego, detach, and love. Okay? Often in matters of the heart, people find themselves in disagreement, yet set against one another in a battle of wills. Ooh, that made me just think of something. I'm sorry. Ego takes the place of intellect. Greed overtakes generosity. The love in the relationship is forgotten in the desire to win. But where there's a winner, there's also a loser. The partners are no longer equals, and the relationship can falter and completely break down. At this time, be cautious about letting your ego trick you into acting in your own self-interest, especially at someone else's expense. Wow. Well, I'm just thinking about some things that happen out there in the external, and I'm not thinking about you specifically, Virgo, but it could pertain to you. It's just very interesting because we have what I see as the ace. And you've got the heart right in the center. Of course, it's the heart tarot. Excuse me, the heart oracle deck. And then you've got this one right here too. But it's about being direct and honest and faithful and trustful and fair and all of those as far as the, representation of this tarot. But they look very similar. However, one is down in the dirt and the other is up. So there's that. So yeah, win or lose, right? It can go either way. That's always going to be up to you. And are you wanting to be right, or are you wanting to be more of an open vessel of understanding, and seeing a perspective, which as an air sign, which is Aquarius, like I said, Gemini and Libra, which you may be in tune with and have a relationship with right now, if not having a bunch of air in your chart. You understand that, and it always has to be compromised, right? Or it should be, I should say. It makes it nicer. So yeah, and I have to finish. If another person is trying to provoke you, do your best to just remain detached. Solve disagreements in a way that makes everyone a winner. Find the middle ground, which each person yields just a bit, where each person yields just a bit, but just enough. Let love be your guide in dealing with conflicts around matters of the heart. In the end, it's not the winning that matters. It is the love. So I don't think I've ever pulled this card, and I've been using this deck for about 1.5 years. But I really, really like it, and it's always good food for thought, and it's for a specific few of you out there, and some people, like I said, I can imagine out in the world outside of my personal, circle of friends, but that I've heard tale and seen things about. So yeah, it's always good to go back to that heart, because it's never wrong, and it's one of the most it is the most intelligent organ in our body, more so than our mind even, believe it or not. Listen to your heart, react from your heart. I think is the best thing that's trying to let us know, because I'm learning every time I do a reading too. Now I'm going to finish with your rune, and I'm going to pick one of the beautiful amethyst runes I have, and then I'm going to read from the flashcards I have as I memorized it. I was so proud of myself yesterday because I picked the top one. I'm going to shuffle. And I remembered what it was. Yay! Now this one looks like a U, but I'm not remembering exactly. So let me just pick that out for you. Has nothing to do with really shuffling, actually, now that I think about it. That's what I'm shuffling in there. So beautiful, beautiful Virgos. Wow, lots to take in, huh? Good stuff, though. Very good stuff. So you, like I said, you are an incredible caring, giving soul, and it just comes back. It just keeps coming back. It almost looks like this. Let me double check for sure, because I'm not seeing the little things on the side. I think it could be one other one. Yeah, here we go. Now, this looks like a U to me in the English alphabet, but alas, a lot of times it's not even close to that. So what it is, oh, it is. Okay. Boop, boop, boop. It's Uraz. And it is the letter U, and it's the number 2. So there you go with the partnership thing, which has come up hugely because it's a very big part of this beautiful Venus full moon in Libra, you know, and then the fact that it's across from Aries, the predominance of this month, and it's about relationships and partnerships and how you're working things through. Everything this win or lose sign card had mentioned, basically. The theme is bison. You know, the bison, that's a type of animal. Health, strength, and steadfast. Fearless, headstrong, unstoppable. Hello. Are we not in Aries season? Does not remind you of, you know, the fixed signs that are just like, we're gonna make this happen. And it can be a beautiful thing to be like that. They call it stubborn. I think it's definitely steadfast in knowing what you want and pursuing it until it happens. Magical working, physical strength and healing. Yes. Driving force. I told you healing is huge this month. Any kind of healing. Driving force, overcoming fear, breaking through obstacles. Key phrases: powerful driving force, fearless in most situations, strong male energy, because for heaven's sake, Aries is Mars, and that's about as masculine as it gets. Happens to be that Aquarius isn't known as a masculine sign. Taurus is feminine, though, with that Venus, and so that'll come through, as is Libra. Well, air sign in the aspect of Libra is masculine. The Venus, you know, being the ruler, is definitely feminine. So you got the balance there, which is what, you know, Libras are about. Constantly working towards the balance. Able to break through obstacles. This is beautiful. This is everything basically that the reading had said, and then just to, you know, the cherry on the sundae, if you will, just that exclamation point, you know, hashtag, whatever you want to say. Well, I hope you feel every bit of this and are really happy, and then that you'll let me know. If you like what you saw, please do me a favor and push the like, push the thumbs up, join my channel so that I can have you come back and listen to the readings each month. You know, some will be more resonant than others, but I love it when I hear that they have, because I'm right with you, you know? I mean, I like to believe that we do create our lives, but I love getting that reinforcement. And I hope that that's what's happened for you here and will continue to, because I'll be back for your reading in May, and just have an incredible month, because there's so much out there to do and to feel and to accomplish. And so until next time, take extremely good care. Thank you again. Bye for now.